Welcome to On the Way to School, your 6-minute daily boost for educators and administrators. I'm Christopher S. Dennis, and today, let's elevate our journey together. Hey, good morning, everybody. I am hoping that the morning is off to a great start. For me, that looks like a cup of coffee, and I like these little these little sausage dogs right now, the little pancake wrapping a little sausage on a stick. Probably not the most balanced breakfast, but it's better than nothing. Better than nothing. Anybody that knows me will tell you that I'm a fan of a good Welch's fruit snack, and they'll be all over my office. But, breakfast is at least a cup of coffee. And right now it's going to be a sausage dog. So I'm excited. So hopefully you've got something that you like for your morning commute on the way to school. And today I wanted to talk about something that probably doesn't get addressed a ton, and I'm going to just try to talk about it instead of giving tips and advice on it. And I want to talk about the feeling you have the day after something didn't go well, or you've made a mistake, or something went wrong. So in the moment, for me, it's usually the slowest time ever when something's going wrong or there's a really tough time. And that could be, when I'm teaching, it could be a lesson that I just feel is a dud, or the students aren't getting it, or I just know that I'm not getting them where I wanted them to be able to go in the lesson for that class period. And, for 75 minutes, if you kind of feel like the ship is sinking, it's kind of the hardest thing to just pull through. And you just got to keep going, stick to the plan, one foot after the other. You're looking at students, hoping that one of your dependable students will help kind of get the momentum going. So in the classroom, it can be really slow, and you just try to get through that moment. As an administrator, when you've tried to launch or implement a major initiative or something that was planned pretty well, when it doesn't go well, or there's fallout and things are pretty tough, we end up taking that home. And sometimes you just need, a quiet place and just to try to process it all. So for me, when I get home, I try to just get back to my normal routine, but I will take some time and get into some contemplation, just so that I can think and slow the moment down even further without all the kind of the eyes on me. And it's challenging when something doesn't go well, because if you're an accountable leader, you have to take responsibility for it not going well, and you have to be willing to allow people to give you feedback on it. So in the midst of all that, day one, you take it all home, you're absorbing it, you can't stop thinking about it. The day after, the next day, what are you going to do when you walk into the building? How are you going to show up? And what I try to do is, one, acknowledge that, there's going to be a portion of people who definitely know that it was a bad day and it was tough and want to be there to support you. So like my support staff and the team, they're probably going to know. We'll make eye contact and we'll probably check in and talk about some things. And then there's going to be a portion of folks who have no idea what you're talking about or what happened. And I found that it is really important to get outside of your head and stop taking it so personal. Everybody's had a bad day. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But school isn't really about wins and losses. It's actually about consistency and making progress toward the overall goal. So yeah, there's going to be a portion of folks who were there. There's going to be a portion of folks who are actually definitely directly impacted by what actually took place. And we need to be there for them, be empathetic, and never be afraid to apologize if something didn't go well. But accountability is key. But for those folks who have no idea what's going on and they're going about their regular day, we do not need to burden them with, the energy of deficit. We don't need to burden them with things that can go well, because they don't know, and you can still bring value and provide some really good support to somebody who is actually just thriving in their own day. And if we can remember that, the set of problems that I have today aren't necessarily the set of problems that someone next to me is worrying about. So I don't want to over disclose. I still want to be a collaborative partner, collaborative leader, but also just knowing that tomorrow does come. There is a day after a day that you feel like is the absolute worst and you hit the wall. And if you just keep getting up, keep waking up, keep going back in there, there'll be a week beyond that moment. There'll be a month beyond that moment. Then you'll look back and laugh at it, not too long after that. I can recall it was about 15 years ago, and I was trying to find new professional opportunities, and I ended up getting this really cool interview for a role I was not qualified for. I was absolutely not qualified for it. But I remember at the time I was really excited and hurt that it didn't go my way. And I recently saw that email exchange while I was looking for something else in an older email account. And my wife and I just laughed because I really thought that I understood what that role took and what I needed to do to prepare for that. And I can laugh at it now because that was the worst interview I had ever had. It was bad. But in the moment, it was huge. It was the biggest thing, but I just had to keep going. And I'm glad that it worked out the way it did, because I tell you, I was not the one for that. But again, the day after a bad day, get up, get back on your routine, feel all the feelings and the emotion, but you have to remember that you still have good things to bring to the table. People still need you, depend on you. And having bad days is a part of growth. So don't be afraid of the growth. Don't be afraid to demonstrate it and talk about it. And as always, have the best day ever on your way to work. Thanks for joining me on the way to school. Stay inspired, stay motivated, and keep making a difference. I'm Christopher S. Dennis. See you tomorrow.